Hello and welcome. I'm Garen and this is the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly channel. On February 27, Meghalaya will go to polls, and there are several political parties, some new and some old, that are putting up candidates towards a singular goal of forming government. Through this series, we want to share with our viewers a little bit more about these political parties. To speak to us about the United Democratic Party, we have with us the Vice President of the UDP, Alan Franklin Dakar. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. So to start with the basics, what is the political ideology of the UDP?
See, the UDP is an offshoot of the party that brought the state into being, APHLC. It has always stood by the principles, its guiding principles of unifying the regional political forces of the state in order to achieve the aspirations of the people. 50 years have passed and we are rekindling that spirit, and we hope that this coming election, the beginning of the next 50 years, we will be able to make the people understand how important it is to be united when trying to achieve a common goal.
The UDP has been aiming and working towards unification, but now we see that there are more new regional parties coming up, and there are some new platforms also coming up. So is this dream in this juncture, is this possible, and why do you think it's important for a strong regional party, sir?
See, in light of the fact that we have a government in the central government with a party that is biased towards a particular religion, it is very important that regional forces unite and put up a common front not only for the state of Meghalaya but for the entire northeastern states, in order to not allow these divisive forces to encroach upon the polity of our state and our region.
So adding to that question though, sir, why do you think, or do you think people this time around will go for a regional party? Most people usually some say that national party would be better. So what is your answer to that, sir?
Well, for those who say national parties are better, they have the results over the past 50 years. Out of those 50 years, almost 35 plus have been at the hands of the national parties. And the pace of development, the expected growth has not been achieved. When UDP had a very short stint in the year 1998 when it was first launched, our government then had proven its mettle by managing the finances of the state so well that it was duly recognized by the then government of India, which awarded Meghalaya the best financially managed state, and our then finance minister, Aubrey Scott Lingdor, was given the best finance minister award. So that speaks volumes. You see, when you repose your trust in the regional party, they know better what is best for the region and the state. Whereas the national parties are pan-India. They have the same yardstick for every state, irrespective of the geography or the economy or the polity of the region. So that's where national parties have failed. All their schemes have ended up in the drain, I should say, because the planners who plan in Delhi plan according to the topography of the plains, which is not conducive to the topography of the northeastern region, which is hilly. So that is why most of the schemes have not achieved the desired target. Whereas if you have a national party at the center, but you have a regional party at the state, I think that combination would drive us to the point where the aspirations of the people will be truly realized.
Okay. So what is the UDP's vision for the state?
Well, our vision for the state is that we hope to fill in all these gaps that are glaring. Instead of, towing the line of the diktats of the national government, the central government, we have our own plans, programs and policies that will enable the state to be, like our MP, our late MP had said, to be a patch of green and a shining outpost in the eastern part of India.
So my next question to you, sir, is when is the UDP releasing its manifestos and what are the agendas you will be highlighting in your campaigns?
The manifesto will be released shortly after the filing of nominations, and the agendas, like I said at the beginning, will be focusing on healthcare, education, agriculture, entrepreneurship and livelihood for the rural areas in particular. Over and above that, I would like the people to know, your viewers to know, that it was UDP in its government in the year 1998 till 2000 that took up the many vexed issues at that point of time in a manner that was befitting to address these issues at that point of time. Number one, it was under the late E.K. Maulong government that the year of the farmer was declared. Number two, it was under the same government, under the stewardship of Kong Roshan Wajri, who was then the urban affairs minister, that the quarters for the municipal employees who are residing at Themator or Punjabi Lane as they call it was constructed, and the game plan, or rather I'd say the mind of the government at that point of time was that once the quarters have been constructed, they will accordingly shift all the employees of the municipal board to those quarters here at Bishop Cotton Road. Number three, the border issue. It was late E.K. Maulong and the then Chief Minister of Assam, Mr. Prafulla Kumar Mahanta, who had inked an agreement on the 22nd of December 2000, this is on record, to start off by returning the villages that are inhabited by the Khasi and Jaintias in Block 1 and Block 2 back to Meghalaya. However, like I said, the government was toppled and all those things took a back burner in subsequent governments. So UDP has done its bit for the state. If provided the opportunity, it will complete and take the state to greater heights. And for your information, the Crowborough Hotel, now known as Vivanta, it was our current president, Ba Ahmed Ba Alingdo, who was then the tourism minister, who initiated the completion of the Hotel Crowborough, which is now known as Vivanta.
There are some parties we see that are making some promises ahead of elections. So what does the UDP think of such?
Well, that is their prerogative. That is well within their rights. I have nothing to say about what they are saying.
So what do you think is the party's prospects for this election?
Well, we are targeting for an absolute majority. It all depends on the people. We have been able to showcase our ability and our desire to take the state to greater heights, which in turn brought 5 sitting MLAs to join our fold. Not only that, we have ex-MLAs, we have ex-MDCs, we have prominent personalities. To my mind, the latest person who had joined our party and is contesting from South Tura, Mr. John Leslie Marak. That is a case in point that is indicative of the fact that UDP has the potential, has the capacity, has the drive to take Meghalaya to greater heights, and I hope the people of the state will join hands, because UDP is the Meghalayan's party. It is nobody's party.
So what do you think of the UDP's prospects in Garo Hills, sir?
This time round, we have very bright prospects. We have very high highly capable and potential candidates that can bring us the seats to add up to the tally post election. We have, as I very earlier said, Mr. John Leslie from South Tura. Then we have an educationist, Dr. Pilne Sangma from North Tura. We have a retired engineer from Rongjang. We have our ex-MLA from Kharkuta, Mr. L.C. Moman. We have another professor from Mendi Pathar, Mr. Subroto Marap. And the list goes on. We have very, very good prospects now in Garo Hills, especially after we have toured the length and breadth of Garo Hills during the last MDC elections.
So in the Khasi Jaintia region, we see that a couple of sitting MLAs also joined the party. So can you tell us about that, sir?
Well, like I said in the beginning, the potential of the UDP has attracted this sitting MLAs to join the party fold, because they see that the future of the state is more secure, more safe and more bright in this state party, the regional party, the United Democratic Party.
So looking at the entire state as a whole, who do you think will be your party's biggest competition, sir?
In the Khasi Jaintia region, as of now, there are several constituencies where we are pitted against the NPP, some with the Congress, and there are constituencies where we are pitted against the other parties.
So if the UDP has to form an alliance post-election, sir, who do you think the party would prefer?
Well, the numbers will dictate. The election results will give us the numbers to guide us as to how we go about government formation. As of now, we are focused on getting 32.
So, but has there been any discussion if the party has to go for?
Well, even if there are discussions, they are irrelevant, because as I told you, the numbers dictate government formation.
Okay, sir. So there have been many talks that money and muscle power in politics is still a big issue in the state of Meghalaya. So what do you think of this?
Yes, to me that is the bane of true democracy. You see, I pride myself in being a Khasi because way back, even prior to independence, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose had said this in the UN. If you want to see true democracy, go to the foothills of the Khasi Hills. But the intrusion of national parties with inducements over the years have changed the polity so drastically that it is a very uphill task for our party to make the people understand that you need to choose a party that can deliver. As I said, we have proved our mettle at the very beginning in 1998. In fact, under late E.K. Maulong, UDP was the first party to declare the year of the farmer. And when it comes to the border dispute, it was also late E.K. Maulong. On the 22nd of December in the year 2000, they had inked a memorandum of understanding with the then Chief Minister of Assam, Mr. Prafula Kumar Mahanta, to return back the Khasi Jaintia inhabited villages in Block 1 and Block 2. However, as history dictates, the government was toppled for a reason that holds no water, which the High Court has very rightly said that E.K. Maulong is not responsible. The government of that day was not responsible at all for any misappropriation or misuse of funds, which was alleged, for which the government was toppled, and the rest is history.
So you mentioned a founding member. So we have a founding member of the UDP, Ba Bindo Lanong, sir.
Yes.
And he is going to be contesting as an independent this time, sir. So what is the UDP's view on this?
Well, Ba Bindo Lanong, whose stature is a father figure, the tallest leader of the party, he is the chief advisor of the party, and if he has decided upon taking such steps, the party will meet and think about it and take whatever action that is necessary.
So My last question to you, sir. We see that anti-incumbency in Meghalaya has been a trend. So what do you think of anti-incumbency?
Well, it's always there, it's always at play, especially if the incumbent government has not performed to the expectations of the people, then the anti-incumbency rate will be very high. But if it has performed, then the results will speak for itself.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
That was the Vice President of the United Democratic Party, Ba'Alan Free Franklin Dakha, speaking to us about his party. Thank you so much for joining us.